Welcome, welcome, welcome. Y'all, can y'all hear my music? Just like me. She said, they just see me bobbing my head on YouTube and Facebook. Can y'all hear me now? Everybody say yes or no. If you can hear me, say yeah. Good, 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 good. All right. You can't hear me. I know, Tracy. Now you should be able to hear me now. Welcome. I got something to tell y'all tonight. So look, I got something to tell y'all tonight. All right. So I haven't been on in a while. Been kind of busy. Been doing a lot, y'all. Been doing the most. Doing the most. All right. Um, and I personally, I personally want to talk about it. We're gonna talk about it tonight. But something happened today. And I am reminded of why relationships fail. I'm reminded of it today. And tonight, I'm going to talk about it. And we're going to, because it kind of rubbed me in some ways, today that I was like, didn't see it coming, but I'm going to talk about it. And we're going to talk about what we want to talk about what it was exactly, but we're going to talk about it. But I'm going to teach y'all something in the process because a lot of times when we say things, we say things and we can't, I always say this, y'all, we can't unsee what we've seen. We can't unsay what we've said and we can't undo what we've done. All right. So tonight we're going to talk about it. But before I do that, since I hadn't been here in a while, I got to see where you're checking in from. Where you checking in from? Give me your name and where you checking in from. If y'all want me, I will, because I'd like to, because you could be anywhere in the country, anywhere in the world, anywhere on earth. But you're here with me tonight. The doctor, aka Coach Ken. We got AZ, what's that? Phoenix, Arizona, Selkie. All right, Alexia from Arizona in the building. We got Tracy from Cali in the building. We got Kimberly from Cleveland. Sonia from Maryland. What's up, Sonia? That's my girl. San Antonio in the building. We got Faye from Cambridge, UK in the building. Nikki from New Jersey. All right. We got T. Nick Hard. All right. T. Nick Hard from Louisiana. We got Arturo Brown from Brooklyn. I think that's Arturo. All right. And we got, who else? We got? All right. We got somebody from Slickerville. Karen from Slickerville, New Jersey in the building. Stephanie from Virginia Beach in the building. Yes. Okay, Arturo. Good. All right. We got Myrtle Boy from South Dallas in the building. Jessica Garnes from Virginia in the building. Renee Bowen straight out of Compton in the building. All right. Baja, Mexico in the building. Bronx, New York in the building. Lisa Henderson from Philadelphia, IA. Rita from Raleigh. Hey, Rita, be quiet. Be quiet. That's my dog. Narisha from McDonough, Georgia. All right. Jamaica. All right. Here we go. All right, y'all. Thank y'all for joining me. Y'all, like I said, you guys could be anywhere in the country. Hey, Janice, Fayetteville, Georgia. Me and Karen, professional level talk show. Thank you so much, Janice. I appreciate you. And I'm sure she would appreciate you as well. All right, y'all. So tonight, I'm going to talk about the number one reason relationships fail or they don't work. All right. And I've got to tell you a story that happened to me today. I'm not going to tell you what happened, but I've got to tell you the story to give you context. Now, the story is that somebody that I have a relation with today. There were some things that happened, some miscommunication, and there were some things that were said or not said. And what I mean by that is there was something that went on, some things that we both thought looked at it a different way. It could have been a different thing. We both could have misconstrued something. That person thought something, I thought something. Okay. But y'all know I'm the communication coach. My thing is, let's talk through it. Let's communicate through it. And then we can come to a resolution. So many times, y'all, you can come to a resolution probably within 15 minutes once both parties talk through how they feel about it and what they see. Because a lot of times, I want you to understand, a person, two people can look at the same glass and see very different things inside of the glass. Two people can look at the same landscape and see two different things. One person might see the sun on the landscape. The other person might see the hillside on the landscape, but they're both viewing the landscape. And so in my situation today, person I had a relationship with, we were both looking at the same glass. Now, both of us perceived it very differently. But that wasn't where the issue came in. The issue was, the issue came in where I wanted to talk about it so that we could discuss it, so that we could get through. Okay, share with me your opinion. Okay, good. I share mine, and then we resolve it, come to a resolution. Well, the person wasn't willing, didn't want to do that. And so they said some things that I did not particularly care for. Now, in saying the things that they said, it changed my perception about our relationship. Now, why do I tell you this story? Because a lot of us have relationships with people, and we feel a certain way. But because we are unwilling to communicate, what happens is we allow the relationship to suffer when it really doesn't have to. But tonight I want to get into that. So I want you to understand this. The number one reason relationships fail is because of uncommunicated expectations and needs. It is not infidelity. It is not finances. It is, now those things are ranked high. However, the number one reason that relationships fail, go awry, go kaput, is because of uncommunicated expectation and needs. All right. Now let me continue. Hey Leela, hey listen, we're gonna talk tomorrow, okay? She a dope coach, y'all. She woo. Anyway, I digress. But so what happens is that you're feeling something, all right? And when you start feeling something, you begin first, it all started with a thought. Okay, here's how it worked, y'all. For Mike, what's up, guy? So you had a thought, and then you attached emotion to that thought. And then you behaved based on the emotion that you felt. Now, when you have the thought, when you have the emotion, and then it results in behavior. Now, a lot of time, that thought is based on a perception that you have. And this perception may be real or it may be false. It may not be based in reality, but we think that it is because why? Because we think it. Because when we think it, we come from the perception that because I have thought this, it makes it real, makes it true. All right? And so all of the other things play out. You begin feeling a certain way, then you begin acting a certain way. Now, here's why tonight is important. Tonight is important is because I'm a believer in relationships. Y'all know this because you follow me. I believe that relationships matter. I believe that when you are in a relationship, it is your responsibility not to agree, but to communicate. And when you don't communicate, what happens is remember this, y'all, lack of communication always leads to miscommunication. Lack of communication always leads to miscommunication. No one is exempt. I am not exempt. And that is why I made it my mission, because 15 years ago, 16 years ago, my wife and I was headed for divorce court. And because we did not communicate. And so now I am a big stickler on communication. Now, now I'm a human being as well. All right. And so when you begin, instead of communicating from a standpoint of mutual understanding, attempting to get mutual understanding, I am not about trying to win anymore. I'm about trying to understand now, because the relationship is far more important than winning. But what we do is, a lot of us even forget why we get into disagreements, arguments, or whatever. You just know you want to win. You just know you got to win. And I say this, write this down, y'all. Disagreements are inevitable, but arguments are optional. You see, my wife and I rarely argue. Now we have disagreements. Y'all watch the podcast. We don't always agree, but we rarely argue. You know why? Because we realize that we can disagree, which leads to a deeper communication. Y'all, it's always about deeper communication to understand the other person's point of view. And when you don't understand the person, now, if you don't care about the other person's point of view, I say don't communicate. Because if you don't care about it, the energy coming from you is going to be exuded to the other person. So why I say the number one reason why relationships fail is because of uncommunicated expectation and needs. But I want to talk to you tonight. I want to talk to you because I ain't been on in a while. I've been busy, y'all. I've been traveling. I've been coaching, building my academy, a whole bunch of stuff. All right. But I want to say, let me talk to you why people don't communicate, why they don't do it, why they know that they should. And many of you out there tonight, how many of you have allowed your lack of communication to destroy relationships that meant something to you? All because you had a perception. Doesn't mean that it was right, doesn't mean that it was wrong. It ain't about right or wrong. It's about discussing till we get to the point where we are in mutual understanding. How many of you have allowed friendships, relationships, family to go awry because you were unwilling to say how you felt? How many, I want y'all to put one inside the chat. And y'all, this ain't about judgment tonight. This is about help. I'm going to help some of y'all. I swear to God, I'm going to help some of y'all. And I went to God today and I said, God, the relationship that I thought I had was not the relationship that I actually had. Because when the other person would not communicate and when they said what they said, I said, wait a minute, I thought our relationship was different than it is. Now, why is this important? Because I got on tonight because I'm going to help some of y'all. Y'all think about this. There are some people in your life who are gone from your life all because you were unwilling to communicate. You were unwilling to say what was on your mind. And I'm going to get into why you were unwilling to communicate. Why we don't communicate, y'all. I wrote it up tonight. I was just thinking about it because y'all kind of bothered me. I ain't gonna lie. It kind of bothered me because I thought the relationship was more than it was. And I thought, okay, we could have worked through the misunderstanding because I saw it one way, the other person saw it the other way. Now, I kept saying, let's talk through it. Let's communicate. They weren't willing to. Okay, fine. But I had to realize why people don't want to communicate. Number one is because it is far easier not to. See, It is far easier. Number one, it is easier to say, I'm done. It is easier to say, I'm going to walk away. It is far easier to ghost a person. It is far easier not to pick up the phone. It is far easier not to discuss hard things, things that bring up emotion. It is far easier to avoid it than to face it. That is number one. All right. Now we're going to get it. Somebody said they don't have the skill set. We're going to get into that. That's going to be number two. But number one is, y'all, how many times, instead of you telling the person that you are dating, that you guys are not in alignment with each other, you just rather ghost them. You rather not call back or block their number because you don't want to communicate, because it is far easier than saying, you know what? The truth is that I think you're a fantastic person. It's just that we are not in alignment with each other. And there is nothing wrong with that. It is just that is what I'm feeling. All right. And so what happens is people say, oh, coach, hell no. I'm not saying that, because y'all, all communication is not necessarily easy, right? But it is worth it. It is. Have you ever met with somebody and you thought a particular thing, and then y'all didn't speak for a while, and then you finally told the person, and the person says, that is not what I meant. That is not what I meant, right? And so what happens is then you're like, dang, I didn't know that, but now all the time is gone. All the time is gone, all of the energy, all of the wasted time that you cannot get back. Because at the end of the day, y'all, time is the one thing that you can't get back. And so, number one, it's easier not to. Number two, why we don't communicate? Because people they don't know how to. They don't have the skill set to say and articulate what it is they want to say. So they don't know what to say. They don't know how to say it, so they don't say anything. And many times they either suppress it, they keep it down, or they go off. They get triggered and they just go slam off and say whatever it is. It's like a bull in a china cabinet. And then they say whatever it is. And then now they destroy the relationship. Destroy the relationship and it's done. It's done. So they don't care. So the relationship's over. All right. They move on to the next. But the truth is, relationships are very hard. A good relationship is very hard to come by. A good relationship has value. A good relationship is the thing, it helps us to grow. And so when we are unwilling, when we don't have unwilling one, and we don't have the skill set, the thing I tell people is get the skill set. That is why I teach all the time on communication. That is why I created the Pocket Communication Coach. For those of you who got the Pocket Communication Coach, you know that I created it so that people could say it. I often say, when you have to say it and you just don't know how to. That's the reason why. And so that is what I'm talking about. If you don't have the skill set, what I want you to do is work on getting the skill set. There are a lot of people, y'all. So I was coaching some women recently that are in my academy. And I have these exercises I give them. How would you say this? And I said, how would you say this to a man? And so what I found out is some people believe that saying it with feminine energy is weak. Saying it in a way that is not combative, not direct, saying it in a way, but gets your point across. It is not aggressive. It's not combative, but it gets your point across. And some people say, well, why do I have to sugarcoat it? I said, because at the end of the day, it is not sugarcoating. It's kind of like this. All right, let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. And then you guys can tell me. So In my academy, one of the ladies said a guy kept pressing her for sex. And she said, I got mad. And I was like, you know what? I don't know what the hell you talking about. You got me fucked up. I'm not giving you no sex. But she was just going off. And she said that the guy was like, wow, I didn't know. And then she said soon after that he walked away. And it wasn't because of the sex, y'all. Because I'm gonna tell you, I coach men too, and a lot of men say the way that women communicate with them, they don't like it. They don't like it. So she said, well, coach, how could I have said it? And I said, okay, let me show you. I said, here's how. What if you said the best? You know, the truth is, Ken, I would love to have a physical relationship with you if it got to that level. But right now, what's important to me is I want to focus on our mental connection to see if we are in alignment with each other, see if our goals match up. And then if we get to the point where it becomes physical, that'll be great. But right now, my focus is on our mental connection. And she was like, wow. Well, she was like, wow. And I said, you said that me and you said the same thing. You ain't getting none. We said the exact same thing, but the perception of the communication is different. The perception of the communication is that I'm not combative. I'm not combative. I'm not, but the truth is, the truth is that a lot of us don't want to learn. So number two is we don't know how, and we're unwilling to get the knowledge. We're unwilling to get tools to help us communicate. You just rather run people off or run from them. And y'all, that's not the way it should work. Okay. Number three is we choose not to. We choose not to. All right. And what I mean by that, we choose not to communicate. All right. And what I'm saying is some people are like, well, why should I communicate like that? Why? Well, why? Either they gonna get it or they ain't. Does that sound like any of y'all? Either they gonna get it or they ain't, or I ain't gonna change. You ever heard people say something like this? You ever heard people say something like this? I ain't gonna change. Just take me or leave me. You know what? I ain't gonna change. I'm just who I am. I'm just gonna say it. I'm direct. I'm just gonna say it. You ever heard people like that? Yeah, that might sound like some of you all. And I say this. I say, what's more important? You saying it or the other person getting the message crystal clear? What's more important? To some people, the thing that is most important is that they are able just to say it the way they want to say it. And so for me, y'all, I am not, listen, I'm big on communication. Doesn't mean you're not going to have issues that arise. It doesn't mean that. And sometimes you might take care of things and it didn't work out, or you thought that you handled something, you thought that you worked on it and you thought it was fixed, and they come back and tell you that it's not fixed, but you didn't know that it wasn't fixed, and so it just so happens, I just got a text that came through. One of my students said her pocket communication coach is not fixed. She got a little glitch in it, and I just saw it come through. Now, I told her that we would fix it. I thought technical had fixed it. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to communicate with her. I'm sorry. I didn't know it wasn't fixed. Please forgive me. And I'm going to get it fixed with technical. All right? Because every now and then we have things that need to break technology. And I got to get it fixed, y'all. But instead of me avoiding it or why she bothering me, no, I'm just going to communicate. And so, yes, somebody just said toxic communication was that brother is learned. I think part of it is learned. I agree with that. I think some toxic communication is learned. But I also believe that people communicate because they believe that they're conditioned to do it. Now, that is the learned part of it. But a lot of people are just lazy. They don't want to be better. They don't want to get better. So they'd rather just deal with deal with whatever it is and then move on. Okay. And so for me, y'all, today, I was like, wow. I was like, I was like, wow. And so what I'm going to do is what I always do. I'm going to attempt to communicate. Now, there were some things said that has changed my perspective, though. Instead of communicating, when you begin hurling insults or saying things that are not based on what you believe, instead of communicating with the other person, now the dynamics of the relationship has changed. See, we can't unsay what we've said, y'all. You can't unsee what you've seen, and you can't undo what you've done. That is the reason why I say, listen, focus on learning how to communicate and then being willing to say it. Because I know that some of us don't say it. Number 3 is we choose not to. And let me tell you why we choose not to. Some of us have been taught, conditioned when we were younger, that my voice has never been heard, or I've never been heard. And so they don't feel like they will be heard. And so they choose not to. They choose not to say it. And so because they choose not to say it, they repress what is inside of them. The problem with repressing it is, oh, thank you, Amber. Amber said, I think you're amazing, Coach Ken. I appreciate you. The thing about suppressing, repressing and suppressing. The difference is suppressing is I know what I'm doing. I'm putting it down because I want to think about it. Repressing is I've forgotten about it. I've tried to get it out of my mind, but either way, I've pushed it down into my subconscious programming, and then I don't want to have to deal with it. And so a lot of us, we suppress what it is, because if we avoid it, it is far easier to avoid that thing that, when faced, causes me anxiety. It causes me anxiety. It causes me to feel a certain way about it. And so what I'm saying to all of y'all is this. Y'all listen. And listen. As much as I coach people on communication, as much as I coach them, I still get people who have been in my coaching who've heard me say this, but don't communicate. And so I have to be okay with that. I have to be okay with that. And so I'm okay with that because I have to understand that a lot of us, y'all, have been unheard, whether it's growing up, whether it's by our spouse. We've been taught not to speak. And so I don't get upset about a person not speaking. My wife was taught not to speak. And so we have this rule in our house is I'm going to give her her time to go away, process, but she has to come back at some point. And and that's our rule in the house, because I like to process through it. She doesn't. So we meet somewhere in the middle where she says, give me the time to process, and then I'll come back. We talked about this the other day, and that's what we do now. And that's one of the reasons why we rarely have arguments. Like I said earlier, disagreements are inevitable, but arguments are optional. All right. And so, because some people choose not to, I get it. And think about it, y'all. When your voice is not heard, when you feel like it's not heard, it comes out in some type of emotional behavior. Maybe an outburst, maybe yelling, maybe crying, maybe getting angry. But when you do that, that's how it comes out. And so that's why I say, hey, let's talk through it. Let's talk through it. But y'all, and I'm gonna say this. I want to say this. Now, a lot of you listening to me tonight, I got roughly 200 people, 250 people on. And I will say this to you. There are a lot of you out there, your relationships aren't working, not because the other person is a bad person, not because the other person is to blame. It is because of your unwillingness to communicate better, your unwillingness to say what you feel, your unwillingness to express your emotions. Now, there are ways to do this in a way that I could teach you. There are ways to do this that that don't seem combative, that are not combative, they're not aggressive, but they do get the point across. And after this last one, I'll tell you how to get one of the tools. The last thing is people don't communicate because they want to avoid conflict. And I want to say this. Conflict, y'all, is necessary. I didn't say arguing or fighting. I said conflict is necessary. Conflict is simply we have conflicting point of views. The reason why it's necessary is because if everybody thought like you thought, we would never progress. That's what relationships are about. Is my wife and I have conflict because she helps me see it through her point of view. Conflict is not bad, but many of us believe that conflict is a conduit to anger. That conflict is a conduit to harshness. And because you avoid conflict, when you avoid conflict, you think that at the end of the day, you think that it's going to lead somewhere else. But it doesn't have to, y'all. Conflict doesn't have to lead somewhere else. It does not. It is because we don't know how to communicate. We're unwilling to communicate that conflict leads to a negative place. And so I'm going to leave y'all with this. For those of you who want to improve your communication, because this happened today to me, and it kind of shook me because I thought I had a relationship that I guess it wasn't like I thought, but it shook me. But that was the reason why I needed to tell y'all what you need to fix. All right? What you need to fix. And hey, Sharp, JC Sharp, my guy, he says conflict allows us to see the other views. But we can be okay seeing the other view, but I'm not one who challenges to make them back up their view. Yeah, all we're doing is discussing, y'all. That's all we're doing. And so what I'm going to say to you is this right here. For those of you who are listening, and you want to change, you want to communicate better, I'm going to give you two options. Number one, for those of y'all who know, I've been booked up all month with discovery sessions. The discovery sessions are the deep dives that I do to help people find out and make sense of their life, find out why their relationships have gone awry. And my discovery sessions are normally $350. Next month, they're going back to the regular price of $400. But this month, and this month they're $175. If you feel like, you know what, Coach, I need to get a one-on-one with you. It's 60 to 90 minutes, and I'm gonna go deep inside you to figure it out. Then you email me at coachkencanion@gmail.com and say, Coach, I'm interested. I'm not going to send you a link because the link says $350. But I am going to tell you how you pay it. The way it works is it's $150 just to the end of the month for 5 more days. And then what you do is you pay it. Then I'm going to send you a link. We'll set up a good time for both of us. And then I'll send you a Zoom link. It's that simple. I haven't been on because I've had so many discovery sessions this month and helping people dissect, make sense of their life, y'all. That's one thing, the first thing. So email me at coachkencanion@gmail.com if you're interested in that. And we'll set that up. Second thing is this. For those of you who want to communicate better, I communicate. I created this AI application software. It is good, y'all. It is so good. It's called the Pocket Communication Coach. It literally helps you say what it is you want to say. Y'all, I created it 8 months ago. I found a developer who could help me do this, who could help me develop AI software that could coach people based on based on how I would teach them to communicate. How would I teach you to communicate? Number one, it can't be combative. Number two, it can't be aggressive. And number three, it has to articulate your point crystal clear. And so I created it. And y'all, it is amazing. I've got so many testimonials. For those of you who would like to use it, for those of you who would like to try it out, if you want to say something to a family member, to your sister, because I know one of the girls restored her relationship with her sister, all because of the Pocket Communication Coach. If you're dating and you want to know what questions to ask, all you got to do, type it in. I got a dating section. All you got to do is type in, I want to know this. How would I ask it? And it's going to tell you. Let's say you got a friend. Your friend hurt you, but you don't know how to say it. So now what you do is you type it in and you say, my friend hurt me. Type it in like you're talking to me. Type in all the details. Type in, they hurt me. Me and her been friends for this long. And I don't want to lose a relationship. I value this person. And watch it come out. And y'all, I created it. And we've got tons of people using it now. And so if you're interested in getting a 7-day trial, use it for free. It's go to pocketcommunicationcoach.com. Pocketcommunicationcoach.com. Try it out for 7 days for free. If you like it, it's $20 a month. Y'all, but it is helping you people. And that is all I have to say tonight. I ended with this, is there are many of you out there who have relationships that need to be restored. There are many of you out there know that relationship meant something to you, and you let it go awry. Oh, the email is Coach Ken, K-E-N, Canion, C-A-N-I-O-N @gmail. And if you're interested in the discovery session, send that to me. But I would say go to Pocket Communication Coach. And what I wanted you to do is join it for 7 days and watch if there's something you want to say and you don't know how to say it. All right? That's my time, y'all. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for joining me. All right. I may come on tomorrow night too. I don't know. We're going to see. All right, y'all. Y'all be good. Peace. Let me throw on a little music.